What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Canadian Football Fanatics YouTube channel. And thank you guys for tuning in to our third BCFC season preview as we take a trip down Vancouver Island and head to the Westshore Rebels and talk with head coach Connor Bryan, first-year head coach with the Westshore Rebels, Connor Bryan, in a Westshore Rebels season preview. That is the third episode of our British Columbia Football Conference season previews here on the Canadian Football Fanatics as we begin our partnership collaboration with the conference and hopefully the CGFL eventually. But with that being said, folks, a few reminders before we get into today's episode and bring in our guest for today's season preview, which will be Coach Connor Bryan. Of course, if you guys could continue to support the channel as it's been getting a ton of good feedback and support lately. So first and foremost, you guys can follow us on our social media platforms at _CFNX on Twitter or X. And you guys can find us on our Instagram platform as well at Canadian Football Fanatics over there. Of course, if you guys are tuning in on YouTube today, hope you guys are enjoying a ton of our content lately as we are busy as it is football season with our BC Lions content and now with the collaboration with the BCFC, all of our season previews and etc. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying. Like the videos, comment down below if you guys are tuning in right now. Let us know how you guys are feeling about the BCFC season previews. This one specifically being the Westshore Rebels one. Let us know how you guys are feeling if you guys are tuning in from the Westshore Langford area down in Victoria. And let us know how excited you guys are for another BCFC season for your Rebels. Lastly, of course, folks, if you guys could subscribe. Of course, you guys can already comment. But subscribing to the channel helps us a great amount. And when you guys subscribe to the channel, please hit the notification bell. You guys will get notified every single time we upload a video or go live like we did last night for the BC Lions post-game report and a ton of other content that we have. We have the YouTube shorts coming out from, the clips of our different shows and content across our platform. So as I mentioned, subscribe. When you guys subscribe, press the notification bell. You guys get notified every single time we upload a video. So to today's video, we're going to be joined by first-year head coach Connor Bryan with the Westshore Rebels. Spent the past few seasons as offensive line coach, as well as run game coordinator, as well as recruiting coordinator. Wore many hats within the Rebels organization, and excited to sit down with the first-year head coach here in a matter of moments to chat about his, the outlook of his season for his Westshore Rebels here in 2025. But before we get to that, a quick reminder and just shout out appreciation to the BCFC for this collaboration partnership. Wanting to, what I said on the phone with President of the BCFC, Tyler, wanting to and I've said it to people that tune in on our channel quite a bit, of wanting to leave the game in a better place than where we found it. And I think this starts with kind of some of the, we wouldn't call this the grassroots of football here in, the junior level, but I think it's important to start from there and start to build up, our youth sports and that stuff towards our CFL game, the professional game, because we have a high quality of Canadian football players here in Canada. So wanting to start there. And with that collaboration, wanting to remind you guys to, not only comment down below here on today's video if you guys are tuning in on our YouTube channel, to blow up the BCFC and let them know how excited you guys are for more content this upcoming season. Let us know what type of content you guys would like to see. As I mentioned, we're leaning towards a weekly show and still ironing out the details in the weekly show, as we only had one conversation with Tyler. Going to try to aim for maybe another one this upcoming weekend before the week of the first week of games being played, which is in just under 2 weeks' time. It's crazy to think how fast the offseason has went. And we will know whether or not we are going to be on our platform here at Canadian Football Fanatics or the BCFC's platform. I know we were kind of ironing things out behind the scenes a little bit more before we finalize where the show is going to take place. Who knows? It could maybe take place on both platforms. With that being said, as I mentioned, let them know not only on our YouTube channel, if you guys are commenting down below, how excited you guys are for that collaboration, but comment and tag them in our social media posts and content over there as well, letting them know how excited you guys are, as well as any feedback, what kind of content you guys would like to see on there. But like I said, if you guys could comment on some of the content we've been putting out obviously the first two season previews with Vancouver Island Raiders head coach Sean Arabsky, and then went up to the Okanagan to chat with Okanagan Sen head coach Travis Miller. So if you guys haven't checked those out already, I would highly recommend you do so. And when you do so, you guys can check out the many clips, as I said, on our social media platform. Comment the VC or tag the VCFC, letting them know how excited you guys are and what you guys would like to see in the future. And as I said, I would highly recommend going to check out our first two season previews, as we have number 3 here today, and we'll continue our trip around the BCFC here leading up to game week next week. So stay tuned. This is going to be a busy week, folks. We're going to have Westshore Rebels come out this. We're going to upload it right away, basically this Sunday, July 6th, and then every other day we're going to have one try to come out Tuesday, Thursday, and then probably a back-to-back on Saturday, Sunday, leading up to game week next week, and then we'll have, hopefully leading into another collaboration with the BCFC, our second annual BCFC power rankings voted on by the head coaches in the BCFC. So last year we did this and weren't able to get all 7 head coaches to participate. I believe we had 4 of them participate last year, and had 3 other assistant coaches take part, for representing all 7 teams. This year we were able to nail down, at least we're hoping to. We have 6 of 7 right now. Still waiting for one more team to finalize their votes of how they think the conference is going to shake out. We're going to narrow that down to a list and release it as one of how the coaches think the conference shakes out 1 through 7. So keep an eye out for that. That's going to be a ton of fun as well, to get a little conversation going before the season, create some chatter, create some motivation, I'm sure, for some teams that think they're going to be too low. And as I said, create some good conversation. So lastly, before we get into today's season preview, just a reminder to check out, if you guys are, obviously we are here in BC for most of us anyways. I know there will be some parents and family members maybe tuning outside the BC area, but for those that are in BC and are tuning in today and are maybe BC Lions fans, I would highly recommend checking out some of our content in that department as well, with all of our previews each week and our post-game reports. As I mentioned, last night was a nice one for the BC Lions to get back in the win column after a 3-game losing skid. Wasn't pretty, isn't one to hang your hat on, but is a victory nonetheless, and is one that the Lions can watch the film and have a lot to get better on. But at the end of the day, it's still a victory. So a positive at the end of the day. And as I said, they snapped their losing skid. This week going into Edmonton, of course, we'll have our week number 6 preview and a ton of BC Lions content throughout this season. So I believe that's all we've crossed our T's, dotted our I's, folks, and we can continue our Westshore Rebels season preview with head coach Connor, Bryan, first year head coach. So let's send it over to the interview with Coach Bryan right now. Alrighty, folks, joining me now is first year head coach for the Westshore Rebels, Connor Bryant. Coach, thanks for joining me. How are we doing?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
Oh, doing fantastic, Coach. So, as most of the BCFC kind of has kicked off their first week of main camp, how has it been, Coach, for yourself being a first-year head coach to kind of be back on the field and being surrounded by your team once again?
It's amazing. We've had a great group of guys here during the off season, and it's fantastic to have the young guys from high school finally make their way out to the island to be a part of the team, and very excited with what we saw during main camp. And our coaches did an excellent job of getting our young guys prepared and up to snuff in terms of our expectations for our team and what we expect of them as players in terms of how they address themselves on the field, how practices are run, and the intensity that comes with the jump to junior football.
Yeah, so Coach, as I mentioned, first-year head coach, but not new to the program, right? I believe, been around the program quite a bit, as offensive line coach, run game coordinator, amongst a few other titles. How excited are you for this opportunity to step into this role as a full-time head coach, kind of to run your ship for the first time on your own and stuff like that? And I know with kind of a little bit of history and ties to the program as well. How excited are you for this opportunity?
Beyond excited. It's a blessing to be given the opportunity to run this program. It's a very storied program and have a lot of alumni and talent that have come through this program as a player and as the coaching staff. And to be able to be the guy in charge, it's a blessing.
Yeah, so when talking about being the guy in charge, Coach, and obviously, as I said, you have the ties to the program. You've been around for a little bit, I believe. Unfortunately for the program, this is now 4 coaches in 4 years. But how are we going to use this opportunity now to kind of take, bits and pieces of different coaches' regimes and kind of put it into one of your own and kind of shape your team's identity? And what would kind of some of those areas be in terms of like the identity that you want your team to kind of look like, on the field?
Yeah, I've kind of been kind of blessed these last few years to be a part of the recruiting process with Coach Janke and with Coach Mark as well as Coach Beatty. At the end of the day, these are a lot of guys that I've spoken to that I brought into the program that kind of match the ideals that I see in the players and what we want as Rebels, as well as the past coaches as well. My big thing, being on the line, is we need to be playing well on both sides of the ball in the trenches. That's where games are won at the end of the day. Um, we're looking to be strong up there, and we have a few young guys who are going to be stepping up on both sides of the ball, on both sides of those lines, and I'm excited to watch them play and watch them progress as young men as they move forward. Uh, Other than that, expectations are we just want to play the best football we can every day. We step on that field at Starlight Stadium. We got to put our best football on the field, and that's what I'm really trying to get across to our guys. Is whether it's practice, walkthrough, review, install, or game day, we got to come out there with the same intensity, the same drive, and the same competitiveness that we need to succeed and win as a program.
So I know you guys have brought in a few alumni as well to kind of take over some important positions within your staff as well. Of some guys, I'm familiar with and played against, with my time in the BCFC. How important was that for you, putting together your staff as a first year head coach to kind of surround yourself with the right coaches of, kind of almost three separate units in a way, right? With offense, defense, and special teams. And then you can kind of patrol all areas, be that head coach. And obviously, I know your ties to the offense. Maybe you want to kind of have your input a little bit more on the offense side, but also being able to kind of trust guys like Coach Slater with the special teams unit, Coach Gander, who had a pretty good career with the Westshore Rebels, went on to play with the Regina Rams as well. A guy who was a ball hawk when he played in the conference. How important was that for you when you put together your staff in terms of surrounding yourself with the right group of coaches?
It's paramount to the success of the program, in my opinion. You need a coaching staff that's on board with everything that we're trying to do as a program, and to bring out alumni who understand the goals of the program and have a love and respect and a want for the program to succeed. That's what makes our program successful. And to Coach Slater has been with this program for 10 years. He was just as a coach, played back in the 90s with the Victoria Sharks, was my O-line coach when I played back in 16 and 15. So all the trust in the world in terms of him, as well as another alumni coach, Coach Connor Way, that's helping him out in terms of getting caught up with the special teams schematics. And I know they're going to do a fantastic job. Coach Gander, playing with him in 2016. I know I know the kind of caliber of player he is, and kind of coaching with him in 22 and 23 as well. Really understand what his goals are as a coach and the positives that he brings in teaching, especially our group of young DBs, um, and and making sure that they're playing solid football and getting their opportunity at the next level when it comes.
Yeah, offensively, coach, wanted to kind of shift our conversation there. You guys have
Mhm.
been pretty lucky to have a lot of skill position players offensively. And you even look at quarterback with T. Jesse, Ethan Pickard, the last few years, and even at the receiver position, obviously with Kieran, and then on to Zion and a few other guys now. Kind of from an offensive kind of what to expect point of view. I know, as I said, with the quarterback position, you guys have been pretty lucky to have talented players play at that position in the offseason now, I believe, kind of with the addition of potentially of Gavin, is it Sessions out of Texas player from the States. What can we maybe expect offensively, and then from Gavin as well, of potentially maybe being the starting quarterback for your guys' group this year?
Yeah, our offense is going to be explosive. I'm really excited. We've got some young guys who have been waiting for the opportunity to play at the receiver level. Some great second year, third year guys. Some U Sport drop comebacks like Jeremiah Beckwith. As well as Brady, both from Guelph. We're going to have a very, very good receiver core. A couple young guys, Kingston Friedman from Lethbridge, Tyrell Hofflin from Airdrie, Alberta. And then obviously everybody knows Zion Brown's coming back. So our big thing was how can we make sure that these guys are getting their opportunity to get the ball. We think Gavin's absolutely that guy. He is an electric player. His arm talent, he can throw the ball anywhere on the field. He's got a very good understanding of multiple different types of offenses, and he's he's just as effective on the ground as well. And then our O line is going to be vet heavy as well, with a couple talented young guys on there as well. And we've got an explosive backfield. So I expect our offense to be a electric and being able to put points on the board.
When talking about those veteran groups, coach, and I know another name, Jonah Anderson along that offensive line, what are you looking at towards kind of some of those veteran guys? Maybe not even on offense alone, kind of some of those guys, Gio Lanuzzi, I know Manny Fiato as well, veteran guys that you're going to kind of look to be leaders and kind of be that voice, of the coaches as players in your locker room this year.
They're going to be paramount to our success. Like I said, we got a few young guys coming in that are getting their shots, and it's imperative that these older guys are able to coach them, mentor them, and be able to help them succeed. And talking about Manny on the D line at the nose tackle, he's going to be a guy that demands double teams, and you'll see him get triple teamed as well this year. So it's going to free up opportunities for some of our younger guys like Will Bromelow, returning defensive end, Tyrese Richards, high school kid that we just signed out of Red Deer. And then obviously, I think our DB core is arguably our best unit on the field. They are young, but they are athletic, and a lot of them played last year as first years, so they're coming back into their second years this year, and working with Coach Brandon and getting mentorship from guys like Gio Lanuzzi. They're going to be a very, very dangerous a group for quarterbacks to be playing against game day.
So when talking about that defense coach and Coach Gander, who I'm familiar with playing for the Raiders from 17 to 19, a guy that, as you said, the level that he played at when he was with Westshore and even at the U Sports level, a guy that's very confident in his ability. He'll let you know about it as well. Kind of what's the mentality that you expect for Coach Gander to kind of have his unit playing under on defense?
Yeah, Coach. I think that he's got a great grasp of what we're looking to do, and he's looking to play starting from the top down in terms of football, and making sure that our DBs are sound, so our box can go and eat in terms in the pass game. And he's relying on our coach Phil Slater, as well as our defensive assistant Todd Ruther, to help meld their box game with his coverage game. And I think it's going to be very exciting, and it's going to be a well-coached group of kids, and I'm expecting big things from this defensive core.
Is there any other names that maybe come to mind, Coach? We mentioned Gio Lanuzzi, Manny Fiatu. Any other kind of names that come to mind in terms of maybe players to watch, for fans this upcoming year on that defensive side? You could even throw maybe a name that you maybe forgot or wanted to mention on offense as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Bryce Ruther, obviously returning linebacker for us. He's going to be our vet in the linebacker core. Rookie that we're bringing in from Bristol in the UK, Caleb Eherin. He's going to be something that's going to shock a lot of teams once they see his film week one. Uh, PJ Hudson, fourth year for us, going into his senior year from Bristol in the UK as well. He's poised to have a big season. And then just to go through our DB room, Ben Matai, field corner, Isaiah Boughton, Bronson Pfeiffer, Cam Cohn. Those guys are going to be lights out. You're going to be hearing their names every day, game day, whether they're making picks, big tackles, or big breakups. Offensively, really excited with our offensive line unit with Jonah Anderson, having Xavier Ventakaya back, all Canadian in 23. Marino Dahula, very underrated left tackle for us. He's been a 3-year starter going into his 4th season. And really excited for a couple of young guys, Shamar Solberg from Mount Douglas, Rylan Brown from Mount Douglas, looking to make some pushes for some vital spots on that offensive line as well, which is exciting to see. And then obviously,
Yeah, go
sorry,
ahead,
and then
coach.
obviously Carter Williams, our running back. I think he's going to be one of the most explosive players in the league. He would have been a rookie of the year last year if it wasn't due to injuries and him missing a majority of the year. He's going to be coming back for a big sophomore season.
Coach, you mentioned it a couple times there of the UK ties, and then obviously, as I mentioned, with Gavin coming up from Texas and stuff like that. How cool has that been for yourself being an alumni? The obviously title of you being kind of a recruiting coordinator for the team the last few years, of using that I guess kind of avenue of going over to Europe and kind of being able to recruit that batch of players, and then as well of like kind of going not only nationwide but North America wide, right? Of kind of opening up that door and being able to find other athletes. And I think just grows the game that much more. Obviously, with the cap of how many you can import players you can kind of bring in and stuff like that. But how much do you think that's kind of grown the BCFC and just can is a benefit for the game at the end of the day?
Yeah, there's some great football being played overseas, and whether it's in the university circuits, the ELF especially, and even a few of the other men's leagues around all around Europe, you can find some absolute athletes out there, and giving them an opportunity to come out to Canada, especially live on beautiful Vancouver Island, and get an opportunity to make the CFL, which is a big goal for a lot of these guys that we're bringing in. I talked about Caleb, talked about PJ. Like their goals are to try to make the CFL while they're here. So I think it's a great way for us to bring in older athletes or more talented athletes. And kind of use them as a way to kind of supplement the youth sport players' role as well. Uh, but we've been very successful with our UK kids that we're bringing over. We just graduated Fermi Okunlola, who's now playing at York University. He's another Bristol alumni. Lorenzo Altabelli was a right tackle for us last year. He's currently playing for the Berlin Thunder in the ELF, in the GFL1. And we're just excited to bring guys like that out here and giving them an opportunity to develop, become better, play a little bit better football, depending on what league they're coming from, and get their opportunity to play in the CFL.
So, Coach, I kind of want to quickly dip into last year a little bit, and obviously, you weren't the man in charge last year, so you can kind of only take, so much from last year. And at the end of the day, last year is last year, right? As we kind of know, you can only take so much, and you have to move on to this being the next chapter of life as the Westshore Rebels team. I'm curious, kind of maybe the lessons you guys were able to take throughout, the off season yourself, being able to study last year's group and being able to kind of maybe have an idea going into the, spring camp and main camp, what maybe areas you'd like to tweak and stuff like that. But what lessons you guys were able to maybe learn last year of, getting out of the gate pretty hot and then obviously come up to some adversity there to end the season, right? I believe 4 straight losses going into the playoffs. But with that adversity, you guys be able to kind of be resilient, able to, I believe it was beat Langley in the BCFC semifinal, punch your ticket to the third straight Collin Cup for the program. End up coming up just short to the Okanagan Sun. I believe it was a one-score loss to the Okanagan Sun, who ended up punching their ticket to the national championship. But at the end of the day, right, with adversity, you're kind of able to learn and have some lessons to learn from, as well as if you're losing, you're being able to learn. So what lessons were you able to take from last year that you're able to kind of maybe go into this year with maybe a fresh start?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that definitely something that we've been really focusing on is sticking together through the hardships. Coming off of the 23 season, going into that tough loss against Okanagan at home in 24, kind of put the team off the tracks a little bit. And just really trying to make our guys understand that, hey, we are a unified front. We are all out here wearing the same colors for the trying to get the same goal and the same achievements. We're trying to win football games, and you know what? Some hardships might come by, and at the end of the day, these other teams are trying to do the same thing, and we can't turn on each other and start pointing fingers. It's what we do as a team, and how we can come together to get back on track and achieve our goals. And I think we just took a little longer than we were hoping. And I think after that Nanaimo game, when they came down and beat us at home, kind of gave us the opportunity to really look in and kind of right ourselves that come playoffs we were able to get back on track and play the football we should have been playing to begin with.
So, Coach, I know to start the interview, I asked you how excited you were for the opportunity, and you talked about it. But I'm curious, with kind of your family ties, I believe, to the program and stuff like that. Just how much it means to you to be able to take over as the man in charge. And kind of, I know somewhat of a similar question, but if you don't mind, even maybe filling in some of the audience and people that are tuning in of kind of the ties that you have to the program with your family and being around the program for a long time and stuff like that. And as I mentioned, just how much it means to you. I know you talked about it already, but just to take over as the man in charge.
Yeah, my family's had deep roots within Rebel football for a long time. My grandfather coached the Rebels before the Rebels became the Rebels back in the late '60s. I've had multiple cousins, uncles that have gone through the program as players. I've had My father was the vice president and president of the program for a good amount of time. Growing up, I'd always have rebels in the house billeting. I think we've had up to 5 at one point. Just been around the program for a very long time, and for the help that they gave me as a player returning from university, down on their luck a little bit, to give me kind of a second opportunity to go back and continue my education and play at the next level. It means a lot to me to be able to run this program, give these kids an opportunity that I had to play at the next level. Whether that's youth sport, whether that's overseas in Europe, or even in the CFL, that's our main goal, and we really want to become a program that these players can trust, into coming out here and understanding and knowing that they're going to get the work and the coaching, and the culture that they need to be successful at any university program across the country. That's our main goal, and I think that it's a great spot for the Rebels to be in right now. Um, Considering the history of the Rebels, we're doing a great job right now, and I'm really excited for the future of the Rebels and what I can bring to keep this going, keep the success rolling.
Coach, when you talk about trust, and just a few more for you, Coach, before we get you out of here, um, when you talk about trust and stuff like that, I think something that comes with trust is a little bit of stability. And we talked about already with, 4 different head coaches now going into this 4th season in a row. And no slight at the other 4 great men, right? Of, being able to lead the program to, as I said, 3 straight Colin Cups. So being able to have success still, but you mentioned of maybe stepping off track just a little bit of kind of the path that you guys were headed. How important is it for you to bring some stability now to the program, making sure that when you're recruiting these guys, you're ensuring them that you're going to be around for say 2-3 years, that you're here to kind of build this thing, not just for a 1-2 year thing, that you're going to be here to create some stability within the program.
Yeah, I have no plans in leaving. Like I said, my ties to the program, my love for the program. My life is here in Victoria. I'm staying in my beautiful condo, and my wife just left with the dog, up here on Bear Mountain. I have no plans to go anywhere as long as they're willing to let me have the job still. So I'm just excited and blessed to be out here and to be with the Rebels as long as they're willing to have me.
Well, Coach, looking forward to seeing you guys on the field this season. My last one before we get you out of here, Coach, is just kind of a reminder and kind of just being able to maybe let the people know where they can help out, support the team. Because as we know with junior programs, it's not easy being able to run without the community support and stuff like that. With that being said, Coach, where can the fans and community maybe be able to support you guys in terms of supporting, being able to buy tickets, season tickets, sponsorships, whether it's game day volunteers, or even billets, as you mentioned, is a huge part of getting the team in. And I know the big size of the teams, you need all the billets you can. Where can the people, maybe reach out, whether it's a website or your guys' social media?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find us at Westshore Rebels, on both Instagram and Facebook. WestShoreRebels.ca, for our website, has all the information in terms of schedule, billeting, sponsorship. You can find on the website. The city of Langford does a fantastic job of supporting our program. City Center Park does a great job of giving us one of the best facilities in the country, for us to train at every day. Um, and title sponsors like Viking Properties are helping us able to run the program that we want to run. So if you're Rebels alumni hearing this, or someone in the Langford Victoria community, and you're looking to help some young men develop and grow and become a part of our community and move on to bigger and better things, please visit the Westshore Rebels website, westshore.rebels.ca, and see how you can help us.
Coach, I lied. I got one more for you, but it should be a good one to end things off on, Coach. Talking to the community and talking to Langford, Victoria, heck, even Vancouver Island as a whole, because I know I'll make the trip down there for a game or two. Why should people come out on a beautiful Saturday, as we have here today on Sunday? But why should people come out? As people, fans in the BCFC are very lucky for all the venues across the BCFC. Down there at Starlight Stadium is a very beautiful setup, and very lucky, especially on some of the Saturday nights that you guys are hosting games. Why should the fans be coming out this season to check out your guys' team?
We got a talented group of guys on the field, and we're going to provide some quality entertainment for anybody that comes out to Starlight Stadium to watch a game. It's a great facility. Game nights are electric. As you know, any of our Battle of the Rocks are fantastic. Anytime we're playing Nanaimo up here, I'm excited for the game. We're going to play them up here this year. I think we're going to have a great crowd out for that. It's a great day to bring out the family, to grow and promote the sport of football, especially if you have any interest at all. If you have a young family out in Langford and your son or daughter has any interest in getting into football, we have all sorts of different leagues that are attending at our games, whether it's high school, whether it's the VICFA League, whether it's the new flag league with UA Rise. There's a way to come out to our games and get connected to get these young kids into the sport and help grow it on Vancouver Island and BC especially.
Well said, Coach. I appreciate your time once again, Coach. I know, as I said before, in the middle of the camp, that the dog days are only beginning, and trying to balance a little bit of family time in there. Just gracious of your time, Coach, and hopefully we'll chat again soon. And wishing you guys the best of luck this season.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Awesome. As head coach of the Westshore Rebels, Connor Bryan. Alrighty, folks, as we close out our third season preview here on the Canadian Football Fanatics, was a great time chatting with Coach Bryan, concluding our third season preview. 3 down, 4 more to go, folks, as we continue our trip around the BCFC. As I said at the beginning of the episode, go blow up the BCFC social media. Let them know how excited you guys are for a little bit of a collaboration partnership. And what kind of content you guys like to see this upcoming season. So lastly, folks, if you guys continue to support, follow us along the way, you guys can follow us at Canadian Football Fanatics on Instagram, at _CF Fanatics on Twitter. Of course, if you guys enjoyed today's video, like the video, comment down below, let us know how you guys are feeling. If you guys are Westshore Rebels fans tuning in, let us know how you guys are feeling, looking forward to this season, as well as maybe wishing Coach Bryan a little bit of luck. And of course, most importantly, subscribe to the channel. When you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell. You guys will get notified every single time we upload a video or go live. As I mentioned, season preview number 3 down, 4 more to go, and we will catch you guys on the next one.